concentrate on whom you are and what you think and what you care about. And approval does not always have to come from others. Other people's opinions do not make you, and the opinion of men do not determine who you are. And so we want women to have the kind of confidence that we're talking about today that you have, Megan. And so I think if there's anything that we can say to other Black women is that get grounded. Get grounded. You have an opinion, and you're thinking, and you're taking charge of your life rather than have everybody else telling you what you can do, what you should do, what you shouldn't do. And so building confidence is the most important lesson that we can share.
Mr. Legendary! Welcome. Happy that everybody came. If you're here, make sure you click that like and subscribe button. Today, I'm calling out all the men. White, black, brown, green, blue. I don't care your color. I don't care your race. I don't care your ethnicity. I don't care your age. I'm calling out all the men to come here front and center, watch this video, just listen and learn. We're going to get into Fresh and Fit. We're going to talk a little bit about No Jumper and Adam 22. We're going to talk a little bit about O'Shea Duke Jackson. And we're going to talk about the state of men. Without further ado, as you can see, we need to start off with No Jumper. They had a podcast and they were asking, Fresh and Fit, don't date black women, is it racist? Is it racist to not date black women? Just asking that question kind of speak for itself, but let's go ahead and let's get into it. And let's hear what they have to say about the video.
We agree that it's offensive.
They're gonna call us.
I never used that one, bro, but hey, man. I mean, hey, bro, if you want to date a bunch of Shaniquas, go for it, man. Look, we should. Yeah, like, me and Fresh aren't really down with the brown like that. Man. We ain't night riders. Nah, so I'm good.
What?
Sometimes if
That's
they're,
crazy.
Redbone, but like in general, me and Fresh don't dabble in the dark.
This
you know
is the
saying?
niggas y'all been capping for? These niggas? What?
Now, we're not going to mention names for certain reasons.
Here's the other one.
Which are traits of feminine women. What's her gram? What's your gram?
That's crazy.
I ain't gonna lie, just keeping it real. I don't really date black girls.
Oh.
No, because like most black girls
Fresh just said that?
annoying, how to put this, ratchet, and they don't know how to like be reserved. You're like the complete opposite. You are not the stereotype. You are not the stereotype. You are not the same.
Oh.
Before they go into what they about to get into, I didn't even pay attention that Fresh said that. I didn't know that Fresh actually gave a reason on why he don't date black women, but I think that just even more so played into what we're going to get into. But I didn't know that he actually got into why he don't. So that should further prove that it's not about race. He's telling you right there, he just said it. This is why I don't date black women for blank, blanky, blank. And he was speaking to a woman of another race. I don't recall what she was, but he said, listen, that don't apply to you because you don't have those traits. But I don't date black women because they more than likely have these traits. Well, let's keep letting this play.
So I will give you that compliment. What's your Instagram?
They really are shooting themselves in the foot.
Which are traits of feminine women. What?
So yeah, as you,
I can't stand by that one.
If you've ever met a black woman before, you can
As a
probably
man
guess
who
that this
loves
is not a
black
very
women.
popular opinion.
As a man who loves black women and Fresh and Fit, those are my guys, but I can't stand by that shit. I don't fuck with that.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that was kind
I
of
got a
crazy.
black daughter. You know what I'm saying? I got.
Nigga, this nigga is dark himself. How you gonna say I'm not a dark? Like,
They talking about dating. All they saying is dating. And what Fresh said is, I don't date black women because more than likely they come with this ratchet stuff and they come with all that extra baggage. I can't. You know what? Let me stop talking about it. Let me just rewind it and play it again. That's what we're gonna do because I don't like just sitting here trying to quote
are traits of feminine women with.
So yeah, as you
Fresh just said that.
Annoying, how to put this, ratchet, and they don't know how to like be reserved. You're like the complete opposite.
You are not the stereotype.
And
You are not
Ratchet.
the
I didn't hear
stereotype.
that. I heard ratchet.
Yeah,
Oh,
so I will
man.
give you that compliment.
What's your Instagram?
They really are shooting themselves in the foot.
Which are traits of feminine women with.
So yeah, as you
I can't stand by that one.
if you've ever met a black woman before, you can
As a
probably
man
guess
who
that this
loves
is not a
black
very
women.
popular opinion.
As a man who loves black women and fresh and fit, those are my guys, but I can't stand by that shit. I don't fuck
Bro,
with that.
what the fuck?
Yeah, that was
I
kind
got a black daughter. You know what I'm saying? I got.
Nigga, this nigga is dark himself. How you gonna say I'm not a dark? Like, how
He's
you
from
gonna
Barbados, isn't he?
How are you gonna say that though?
There's some people who have preferences. They may say, "Oh, I like foreign women," or "I like light," but to say that we're not down with brown and
Yeah,
you
that
know,
was
when you say
crazy. The Night Riders.
when you say
That was
Bonquisha,
crazy.
Yeah.
you refer to black women with you put them in the same sentence with ratchet
And you just put in all
stuff
these, like,
that.
blanket statements,
You can't.
like-
I don't fuck with that.
I couldn't believe it because that's exactly like if you were hanging out with a bunch of racist ass white dudes.
I can't get with it because they basically said that again. This plays into what I just said in my last video. Based on their experiences with the black women they encountered, they don't want to date black women. And everybody's going nut shit crazy about these two grown men's preferences about what they've experienced. And I'm calling out every man right now because the 4 men sitting on this panel was fucking ridiculous. But I'm going to let this play a little bit more. I forgot. I was about to end it, but I need to play this a little bit more.
Dudes who thought that they were being funny, talking
That's
about how
You
they
said
fuck-
that,
Yeah,
you're dumb.
yeah.
But you would expect to hear a racist white dude say that, right? It sounds kind of crazy because you're watching a fucking Muslim dude and a dude from Barbados have this conversation where they're kind of shitting on their own kind. I just can't believe that they would say that and not realize how bad the reaction was.
They don't care. And as men, you shouldn't care. If you got a fucking preference, then stand on it. I don't understand why we should be ashamed and have PR on what we prefer. Because if I sit here and I say I don't date Hispanic women, I don't understand why that would be a problem just because I'm Hispanic and I don't want to date the woman that's the same race as I am. I don't understand why that's an issue for us men. And let's let it play a little bit more.
Was gonna be
Yeah.
How long have they been doing YouTube for?
like a year.
Doesn't
or two,
matter.
like
Like
not
a
that
couple
long.
years, like 1 year, 2 years, yeah.
Wow.
I'm gonna, even though obviously I have my own personal grievances.
Because you
That's on
basically
what?
believe what they said. You just would never say it, right?
What?
You only date white women.
You don't date black
Y'all
women.
got me fucked up. First of all, my girl.
Adam 22 is being dead serious. He don't even date black women, but he is afraid to say it because he's afraid of the backlash that would come from everybody if he openly said that. And that speaks for itself. That we got another man who agrees with what they're saying, but is afraid to say it because of what he's gonna be backlash with, based on what black women are doing to Fresh and Fit, based on what even grown men are sitting here doing to Fresh and Fit because of who they want to date. Fresh and Fit didn't say I don't speak with black women. They didn't say we don't work with black women. They said we just don't want to date them. And we got black men, white men, I forget the other one. We got men, period, up here dogging them on what they want to date. This is the state of men in 2022, 2021, whichever one you want to pick. This is the state of men now. Where if you tell people your preference on who you want to date, they try to cancel you. They try to end your business. They try to disassociate you from the race just because you don't want to date your own race. I never heard this from white men. I never heard this from Hispanic men. But when a black man gets up here and say, I don't want to date black women based on blank, 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 cancel them, you don't ride with them. So we're going to go ahead because I don't want to make this too long. I want to go ahead and get over to O'Shea Duke Jackson. I wonder if we can just go ahead and just switch this over. We're going to switch. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it motherfucking going. Let's keep it going. I know where I want to start this video from. I was going to end it and transfer over. Let's go ahead and play this from O'Shea Duke Jackson himself.
One of the clips is Fresh and Fit
talking about their preferences in dating women. Now, obviously, they had some young ladies there in the audience or at their podcast, and they're saying, hey, listen, we don't really date black women like that. We reserve the right to date anybody that we want to date.
Yes.
Just like you can date a guy that has money, a guy that has a certain height. You know, it's only a problem when men have preferences. And give them a round of applause. Because that's
their response, because they faced the backlash from the Shade Room, and everybody was going at them on what they preferred. And their response to what was happening on the Shade Room, Old Shay, No Jumper, their response was what they just said. Listen, that's just our preference. We just want to date people of a different ethnicity so we don't have to deal with blankety blankety blank. Myra Gaines said, listen, I'm not even giving y'all the pleasure of telling y'all what the blankety blank blank is. Just know I just don't want to deal with black women because of blank blank blank. Take it however you want to take it. Fresh was at least decent enough to say, this is why I don't want to do it. Myra said, no, I don't care. And it's the same as when women of any ethnicity, any race say, we don't want to deal with men. We don't want to deal with black men because of blankety blankety blank. We don't want to deal with men who don't have blankety blank blank. It's the exact same thing we do. We just actually putting a race on it. Because this race happens to have the things that we don't like more than any other race, so we don't want to deal with it. And it's the exact same thing. And I, for one, regardless of whatever they saying, I stand by their right to say it. I don't care. I don't care what they said. I stand by their freedom to be able to say what the fuck they prefer, when the fuck they prefer it. And they should be able to. As men, as humans, as women, they should be able to, because we do not say anything to women when they come at us with these standards. Some of them may be over the top based on what they bring to the table, but I stand by your right to have your own standards. What I do here is just let women know when you have those standards, just be prepared for those outcomes. And these men are open enough to say, listen, openly, we don't want to deal with black women. They already know the outcome. They don't care. They're willing to deal with that. But the problem is we got other men up here overly simping saying, no, you shouldn't say that. Now that's your own race. You're dogging your own race by saying you don't date them. How you dogging them? I said I don't date them. I don't date them because they come with this more than anything else, and I don't like that. So just like my last video, if I don't like this and this is the things that my race contains, I'm going to go date over here. And by all means, they should have the right to do it, period. But O'Shea got a little more further, jumping over to the panderer side with his video. So let's go ahead and play that a little more.
Absolutely correct, right? If you don't like black women for whatever reason, there are a lot of black men who don't like black women or dating them. Just like there are black women who don't like dating black men or not attracted to them. That is a dating preference. If you want to exercise that, obviously, a lot of black women are not going to take that kindly because you're seeing it on a public platform. But see, here's the situation though, right? The problem was when they said that they didn't want to date black women because, hey, about this black dating app, he called them Shaniquas, things like that. If you really want to get down with the brown.
Just to be clear, what happened was Fresh and Fit were asked in a super chat, do you use a dating app? I guess it was specifically for blacks. It was like a black, you use the dating app called Black or something like that. And they said, no, we don't date blacks at all. They didn't just openly just say this. They were asked about, do you use the black dating app? Like, we don't even date blacks, so we don't have no reason to be on this app. And that's how the conversation started. And that's why at first, it wasn't even trying to... Kevin Samuels does this a lot, where he uses names in place of saying races. He don't want to say Mexican, Hispanic, Chinese, black for the algorithm, YouTube, and all types of stuff. But Fresh and Fit did similar things, and everybody took that disrespectful. What they said is, we don't date the Shaniquas and the Keishas, whatever name they used specifically to point out, because these are commonly black names. So what they did was use black names to let them know these are the type of people we don't date. And O'Shea jumped straight on the panderer bandwagon. That's disrespectful to use black names to represent those black people. How dare you? How dare you, when referring to black men, say, I don't date DeAndre? That's disrespectful to say you don't date DeAndres. It's not the fact that you don't date black men, but calling them DeAndres and O'Shea's? Oh my God, how disrespectful to say that. Bruh, this is a black man saying it's not what you said. You're allowed to have your preferences, but the fact that you put the name on it, that's disrespectful. I expected so much more from O'Shea because he one of the first people that brought me over here into the red pill community and made me even interested in making videos because I saw the work that he was doing. I saw the work that Donovan Sharp was doing. I saw the work that Kevin Samuels was doing. And I'm like, bruh, I got this knowledge too. And I believe that I can reach probably another fan base that they can't reach. So I want to do it. I want to get involved in this too. And not only that, I wanted to be one of the men to say, I'm speaking up for men. I want to be able to say that not only are them three men doing it, but now I'm doing it. And now he doing it, and he doing it, and he doing it. And if all of us doing it, at some point, maybe, just maybe, they might start listening. Because we can't just have one. We can't just have the few. We got to have the many. And that's one of the problems now because too many people ain't saying what Fresh and Fit saying. Too many people scared to say their own preferences. And that's why we have this jump on Fresh and Fit thing to where, oh my God, they said they don't like black women? We all got to get on because that's where the money train at. What happened with O'Shea and we're going to get on Joe Budden too. And this other chef is all these people came for Fresh and Fit saying, you're not allowed to say that. That's racist. You can't do that. How dare you say you don't like black women? They're the most beautiful and blah, 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 blah. Well, why haven't you dated one? Why haven't you married one? Why your baby mama not black? But I'm jumping the gun. Let me let O'Shea talk a little bit more about how disrespectful it was.
You want to get down with the black, I don't really deal with the blacks like that. That's the problem there, right? And you start calling black women names, you start calling them, you just start being disrespectful.
Notice he didn't say the names. He said you start calling their names like they're the names that they choose to be called. That's what he called them. He was using stereotypical black girl names to say the black people, and that's just so disrespectful to use the names that black women gives themselves. That's disrespectful. Same way Beyonce said Becky with the good hair. That's disrespectful. We don't call that out, but if a black man does it, it needs to be called out.
And stuff like that. And that's what really is the issue. The disrespect towards black women, right? And I gotta review some of these comments that's just really on point. And I want to talk about Tank, right? Here's the issue that I want to talk about Tank. I want to read his comment. Stay music! I think his preferences goes just beyond his preference. His tone says, I don't like black women. His disdain for black women is oozing out of every mannerism and word he speaks. If it's just a preference, I can respect it, but it sounds so much deeper.
It feels much more. These are black men. Men, period. He's a man, period. This man said, I just don't date. He was asked a question. He gave an answer. And we got guys like this over here, but it feels like it's just deeper than that. He don't like them. Regardless of what it is, I don't understand why he should have to explain or even have to go into detail about why he don't. If he don't, I stand by his decision not to. The same way I stand by any women's decision to say I don't date black men. Stand by it completely. I stand by when they say I don't date black men without having this amount of money. But what I want you to understand is you need to be ready to deal with the consequences. The same way I would tell them, if you don't want to deal with black women, understand that you're going to be stuck with the white, Hispanic, the Chinese, and all the rest of them. And just because I say you're going to be stuck with the Beckys, the Mylene, the Marisols, don't mean I'm disrespecting them racist by using names that they commonly go by. Come on, man. This is ridiculous. But I don't want to spend too much time because we still have a whole nother video to get into. But I do want to go over some of these pictures. And we're about to get into those pictures right now. Okay. So now we're going to come over to the Instagram/Twitter post from, you guessed it, let's pull that up now, Joe Budden. I'm going to read that aloud for you now. I don't normally do the repost another pod thing because one, I just don't. Two, some stuff just doesn't deserve to be highlighted. But today I'll make an exception. I don't know these two dudes, but they don't get to do this to ignorant, inexperienced, insecure, fragile, and weak for this stale gimmick to not be seen through. Black women are everything, especially beautiful. Never called them ugly. Every kind of beautiful too. So to hear this from them, LOL, it's laughable, but it's not. It's not y'all don't date black women, fam. Black women won't date y'all, I can tell. So you harbor this hate and base opinions off as if you've been outside long enough to even know yourself, and y'all are angry about it. Just not angry enough to not use them. I hate how deep the I hate how deep the pandering and the money is for a lot of men, because this narrative has completely been switched from what it was. And I'm going to tell y'all here again, I stand by Fresh and Fit. I stand by their ability to be able to say what they prefer and not have backlash and not have their words switched to where people are acting like they saying black women are ugly. They never said black women aren't beautiful. They never said that they hate black women. They said we don't date them. And the fact that these words are switched so deeply to the point where we got black men coming over here saying that y'all hate black women because y'all won't date them is ridiculous. I've seen women say they don't date short men. Does that mean they hate short men? Hey, come on. Let's get over to the next post that Joe Budden himself said. He kept going. This rant didn't just end there. It said, these idiots know most podcasts can't get off the ground or gain any traction without love or hate from black women. Both act as fuel. This is nothing more than a cheap, tasteless heave at a payday. The words don't match the actions. If you hate them, do it without them. Skip the topic. Don't have them as guests. You clearly don't know how to host them. Don't cater convo toward them. Say no to every dollar view, like, download, subscription generated directly or indirectly by them. I gotta stop this right here, because this, again, what has happened is everybody has just jumped past what was even said, and they just trying to jump on the let's hate Fresh and Fit bandwagon. Because again, if you watched the clip that was thrown into the limelight, they were at Fresh and Fit was asked if they use the dating app, which I guess is specifically generated toward black people. They know about this app. They said, no, we don't, because we don't date black women. And that was the end of it. Somebody asked them a question. Somebody paid to ask them this question. And what he's saying is, well, if you don't date them, then you should just never answer any question or never have them on ever. Come on, man. You're a better businessman than that. And then he had the nerve to think by saying, I don't date black women. He didn't say I hate them. They didn't say they're ugly. They said we just won't date them, and moved on. It was literally, the clip don't even last that long. It was like 30 seconds. And they moved on to the next topic. He acted like that was them trying to get more money or a payday. Mind you, I also want to state that this clip was from at least over a year ago. They went back in the files after the Fresh Fit just had this bump with Asian Doll. They went back in the files and said, let's pull this back up so we can gain some more traction on why they hate black women. Something that happened a long time ago that they left up and said, we're not hiding from this. This is what we still feel, and this is what it is. Somebody went back and said, let's get that back and pull that back into the limelight to shed more hate on Fresh and Fit. And now, if anything, what you're doing is jumping on the, hey, they're hating Fresh and Fit right now. Just jump on this. Let's get back into what he said. Generated directly or indirectly by them, then I'll believe you. This is just pure laziness amongst other things. If you can't find a funny, creative way to be inclusive or discuss dating, then go back to the drawing board. I'll skip the lecture on self-hatred and just be glad they make it so easy to spot. And lastly, yes, we love Shaniqua and Bonquisha, and LaKanya is a personal favorite. I see why they hate some of you niggas having microphones. So the same disrespect that was told that Fresh and Fit had, the same disrespect he just used to uplift black women. We love Shaniqua, we love Bonquisha and LaKanya. So he used the same names and said we love them. And that's not disrespectful, but if I say I won't date Shaniqua and Bonquisha, that's disrespectful. So is it the fact that he used the names, or is it the fact that he said something that y'all didn't like when using the names? O'Shea, Shade Room, Joe Budden. Which one is it? Because Joe Budden used the same names and he said we like them. So is that still disrespectful? I just don't know. I'm not sure anymore. But let's keep going, because somebody else, what was this guy's name? He was like Chef Waits. Chef Waits said, let's pull that up now, niggas gotta stop podcasting and start building houses and shit again, because this is getting out of hand. Let's go to the next tweet. Step away from that microphone and go change the oil in your car. Before we get into the next, it's two more. Before we get into the next two. First one said, man gotta stop podcasting and start building houses again. Men never stopped building houses. What was the next one? Go change the oil. Step away from that microphone, go change the oil in your car. Men never stopped changing oil. Men never stopped doing the things that they're supposed to do. What they did was, they said, you know what? We're still going to be men, but we also need to have a voice while being men, because far too long we've went to fight the wars and never gave our opinion on life and how we feel. Far too long we went to go change the oil and never said, you know what? If I'm out here changing this oil, hey, I want my woman to be doing this. Far too long we went and we stepped away from the microphone and went to go do the things that we're supposed to do as men. And what they said was, we're still going to do those, but we also need to talk the talk and let other men know what we're going through, and let other men know that it's okay to have preferences. Let other men know it's okay to change the oil and still speak your shit. It's okay to still be a man and then say how you feel. Let's get into the next two tweets. Podcasts have turned into a platform for you to talk your way out of vagina. Man, it's okay to say your preference and talk your way out of vagina. If that's not what you want anyway, no one cares. If these men says, I don't like black women, do you think white women are offended by them saying that? Do you think Hispanic women are offended by them saying they don't date black men? So the only vagina that they're talking themselves out of is the one that they didn't want in the first place. So wouldn't that be beneficial to black women? Hear me out here. If I don't like black women, meaning I don't want to date them, I don't want to be in long-term relationships with them, don't you think you should know that? So then you won't even waste your time trying to date me? Don't you think that's saving you a bunch of time by even saying, hey, he doesn't like black men, black women, let's go over to these other guys then? Isn't that helping you? Because far too long, black women, we know plenty of people that want to sleep with you all but don't want to commit to you all. Wouldn't it be beneficial to black women if we could put a big B on their forehead? For all the men that don't want to commit to black women, we could put a B on their forehead and you can look at them and say, you know what? He don't want to commit to us. We can move on over here. He got a B too. Avoid him. Ain't that helping? I must be tripping. Let's get to the last one. Then there's another batch of men walking around asking women to rate themselves just so they can disagree. Put the mic down and pick up a socket wrench. Shut up and dribble. That's what he told LeBron James. When LeBron James was speaking about political things or things outside of basketball, they told him to just shut up and dribble. Shut up and entertain us. That's what they wanted LeBron James to do, because he was speaking on things that they didn't want him to speak on. He's still a human. He still can talk about political things. He still can talk about things that are happening in his country, but they didn't like the things he was saying, so they said, shut up. We don't want to hear that. We want you to just dribble the basketball. That's what they tell a man who have preferences. Shut up and work. We don't want to hear y'all feelings. We don't want to hear how y'all really think. We don't care about the Kevin Samuels of the world telling us how they feel. We don't care about none of that stuff. All we care about is the entertainment and the fact that y'all still building the world that we can use. Everything else, irrelevant. But let's get on into our video, and we're going to go ahead and pull that up now. So, Kevin Samuels was the first one to break down this video. I've yet to hear anyone else really speaking about this video, especially on Black YouTube. And I don't think it gets as much traction as it can because there's no like real clickbait, or there's going to be nothing said that too many people can disagree with. YouTube and YouTube fame and podcasting fame comes with like really to become really famous, you have to have something real controversial that you say, or like you're gonna have to be real black and white on certain topics. Like you have to vehemently disagree with something or vehemently agree with something to the point where you're just over the top agreeing. And that's one of the ways I believe O'Shea is now growing more than he used to, because he's more so dipping into that gray area where it's like, I'm not against women anymore. I don't say some of the things that he knows he agrees with, but he's not going to say it anymore. And he's going to kind of pander to what women like. And that is a huge market. To sit here and say, you know, black women are beautiful, I love black women. If you just sit here and say that enough times, you can make a killing. God, I forget. I don't know how his name is slipping my mind right now. But we all know the guy who was cheating on his wife. I can't think of his name. Save my damn life. I want to see if I can find it in my notes here. But y'all know who I'm speaking about. Derrick Jackson. Derrick Jackson made a killing off of just pandering, telling women what they want to hear. And there is a strong market for this. And if you jump into that market, or if you jump into the market where you say, you know, black women need to get on their shit, black women need to get their stuff together, there's a huge market for that now as well. What we're going to get into is this show where the representative Maxine Waters was speaking to Meg the Stallion, and the audacity of her to make a song called WAP, and the audacity of her to be strong enough and independent enough to do it. Let's go ahead and start playing this video now.
What's the biggest lesson you hope that young black women can sort of learn from this current moment that we're in?
Well, you know, I think that because black women have not been respected in ways that will help them to feel good about themselves, and they looked to others, and particularly men, in order to get approval, then, you know, we need to say to black women, first of all, concentrate on whom you are and what you think and what you care about. And approval does not always have to come from others. Other people's opinions do not make you, and the opinion of men do not determine who you are.
Black man, other people's opinion do not make you, and the opinions of women do not determine who you are. You should be able to speak however the hell you want to speak and feel however the hell you want to feel without being worried about how you're going to be criticized by women or other men. Fresh and Fit should be able to say however the hell they feel about whoever the hell they want to date, and it should be left at that. I agree with everything she's saying about everybody, though. So here's the difference, and this is why this video didn't get as much traction as it can, because it's just saying, you know, women, do you, be strong, forget those men. And what I'm telling you is, hey, men, do you, be strong, forget those women and their opinions. You should be able to stand on whatever the hell you say. And if it talks you out of getting vagina, hey, stand on it.
And so we want women to have the kind of confidence that we're talking about today.
I want men to have the kind of confidence that we're talking about today. I want men to be able to do exactly what the hell she encouraging women to do. And that's how it should be. Ain't that the true definition of the equality that we fighting for? Ain't that the true definition of the equality that women want?
That you have, Megan. And so I think if there's anything that we can say, to other black women is that get grounded.
Get grounded,
Get
black
grounded.
man.
You have an opinion, and you're thinking.
Get grounded, black man. Get grounded. Have your opinion. Speak your truth.
And you're taking charge of your life rather than have everybody else telling you what you can do, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, and
Be able to stand on whatever the hell you want to do, and nobody should be able to come over and tell you, you shouldn't say that. You can't say that. That's going to get you knocked by this community. Guess what, Fresh and Fit? Say whatever the hell you want to. Do it however the hell you want to do it. Obviously, these people with 500 plus subscribers and making money enough to where they don't need sponsors, to where they're hosting their own show, should be able to say whatever they want to say and keep doing it how you've been doing it. How the hell now we should tell them to change? Now you done already built your platform the way you want to build it. You done said things the way you want to say it, and now you need to change because black women are offended. No, hell no. Like Senator Maxine Waters said, like Representative Maxine Waters said, speak on what you want to say, stand on what you want to stand on, have enough confidence to say it, and stand in it. Wear it.
so building confidence is the most important lesson that we can share.
Let's go ahead. We're going to forward on to another part of this video. Please, and I recommend everybody, if you want to see the video this entirety, go ahead. Please watch the whole thing and listen to the things that she says.
More work and to talk about our potential to save the world, which we know we can do, but it's a very heavy burden. How do we redirect that impulse, and how do we ensure that we're being supported and protected as much as we're being celebrated or asked to help?
One of the most important things for each of us to do is to examine whom we are and to get grounded in whom we are and have our own philosophies about life.
She just spoke about this. Get grounded. And I like that she thought about it. Have our own philosophies about life. Be able to say whatever you want to say. Think the way you want to think. And just get grounded in however you want to feel about it. You shouldn't have to worry about what Joe Budden is going to say about you having a hatred towards black women because you simply don't date them. You shouldn't be worried about O'Shea telling you that you're not you're allowed to have your preference and say you don't date them, but I just got a problem with the fact that you said this Shaniquas and you don't date people of color. You shouldn't be worried about Chef saying drop that microphone and go pick up a tool, because we can do both. We can do it all. Like I commented and said, hang that microphone up from the fucking hood, change the oil, and talk your shit while you're changing your oil. Now what? Now who gonna tell me what to do? This is ridiculous, the fact that we really trying to censor men, because men finally have a voice, and we finally got shows like this to where we're able to use our voice. And what do they want to do? Censor. Cancel them. Don't say that. You can't say that. How dare you say that? They allowed to say that, but we not allowed to say that. Equality. Same people that want equality are allowed to say things that we're not allowed to say. Equality. Equality.
And what we care about. That's very important, to know yourself.
Know yourself.
Know yourself. Know whom you are. And when you do that, and you set out to do things like Stacey Abrams and other women who have been involved in voter registration, it's because you want to do it. It is because this is whom you are. This is because you believe that you have the power and the ability to be helpful and to change things.
Couldn't agree with you more. Could not agree more. Let's go ahead and get over to another part. And this right here is the kicker of the kicker. Mind you, I'm not going to say the point of this, but I know, I think Meg the Stallion wrote like an article, and Maxine Waters came up and wanted to speak to her about the article. I gave her some type of congressional award for her outstanding something or another. I don't recall. I don't remember. I remember when I first saw it, I was kind of like, for what? What did Megan do? She made a song called WAP, and we're awarding her for that. No. I was too short-sighted to see the bigger picture. I didn't even see it. I didn't even catch it at first. What happened was Kevin Samuels had to open my eyes to it, because what he said is, no, Stop trying to. We were trying to win the argument, but we're losing the war. It's not about the fact whether Maxine Waters believes the song's WAP. All she's supporting is Meg's ability to say it. She want to let it be known that she want women to be able to speak and say whatever they feel like saying, whether she agrees with it or not. It's bigger than what I even imagined it to be. Because I thought it was just about WAP and this rapper. I'm like, you applaud a rapper for making a song about her wet vagina. I'm like, no. Way bigger than that. What Maxine Waters said is, listen, I applaud your ability to be able to speak on the wetness of your vagina. And I was like, pow. But here we are censoring a man to where he can't speak on his preference in dating. He's not allowed to even say what he prefers to date when asked about it. He didn't even give it openly. Someone asked him. And he can't respond to the question. Because we don't like the answer? What? Let's let this play.
But I want you to know something happened to me at the height of gangster rap. And this is what happened. We had so many people who didn't understand this new genre. And we had so many, mature people who wanted to censor, particularly gangster rap. And so I can recall when there was a woman who was actually the Secretary of State, I think, in Pennsylvania, who took up the issue of censoring rap artists.
Okay.
And I'm a real First Amendment person.
That matters. That matters. Because she really means that. But the problem is she only means that for women, or if it's beneficial to women.
Believe in the right of freedom of speech, and so I took up the cause with Tupac and with Dr. J and with a number of artists to defend them. And so I went before the United States Senate, and at that time I recorded something that Tupac had done where he talked about his mom. It was so inspiring when he talked about, he basically said, she's a dope baby, but she's my queen, And I thought, these people got something to say.
She took up the fact with the Senate. She went in front of the Senate to argue the fact that black rappers should be able to say what they want, because a black man said, even though she's a crack fiend mama, you'll always be my black queen mama. That's the part she wanted to make sure she said to Senate. Was even though you're a crack fiend, you're allowed to be a black queen, but we cannot. But the same token, and we're going to turn around and say that these men who say they don't date black women should be canceled, dead. They hate them because of that. And forget what Tupac says. She still wants to go on terms to say that he should still have the right to say it. And that's why as a man we need to understand that we are losing the war. We finally got to the point to where we have a voice. People don't like the fact that we have a voice, and they don't like the stuff that's coming out of our mouths because they never heard it. And because too many of us aren't backing up the things that we truly believe, just like on No Jumper. It's a black man sitting there that agreed with what Fresh and Fit was saying, but he's afraid to say it. And that's where we losing the war at.
And they're saying something that's very important. And so
that's
what
important.
I do is I listen to the young people around me, and they may tell me something maybe you ought to, pay attention to. And I might listen to something like when they told me I ought to listen to, No. I know about Savage because I did pay attention to that kind of on my own. I paid attention to that because it was a remix, and I liked the idea of getting together with Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was really, really important for a lot of reasons. One was, Beyonce had been around a bit longer and had achieved a certain level of success, but she was not thinking of herself in such a way that she knew more, that, she had achieved so much. She came looking for you, and she did this remix, and I thought, now that's what women do. That's what black women do.
That's what women do. She respects the fact that an older, well-established artist came looking for a younger artist and said, you know what? Even though I don't need your song to make me, Beyonce don't need Meg the Stallion's music. She don't need no more music to make or break nothing she's done. But Beyonce said, you know what? I'm going to reach out to Meg the Stallion. I'm going to bring you on. Even though it's your song, I'm going to bring you on. Hip you on, and we're going to blow this song up 10 times the what it ever could have been. And that's what she did. And what Maxine Waters is telling us is that she respects the fact that that's what women do. Women said, you know what? Let me go bring this other black woman on. Black men, this is what the hell we need to be doing. But instead, we losing the war because we as black men are ashamed and bash and doing all the stuff that they claim the women say we do to them. We doing it to ourselves in our own freaking community because a black man said, I don't want to date black women. So we going to destroy him. Like O'Shea said, well, I agree with the fact that he's allowed to say that, but he just shouldn't have said it in this way. Female shit. Joe Budden over here talking about you deep-rooted hate black women because you said you don't want to date them. Fresh even said, dude, I just don't want to deal with the ratchet. But even in the song that we're speaking about right here, classy, bougie, ratchet, speaking about black women, that's praised. When they said it, when Meg the Stallion said ratchet, it's fine. But when Fresh say I don't want to date them because they ratchet, he hate black women. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. And this is why we losing. This is why we losing the war. This is why we lost the bigger picture, because shit like this.
When they're busy with each other, So I kind of paid attention to that. But then they told me to look at was it WAP?
It's WAP. Mm-hmm.
And I did. Don't worry.
Even Meg the Stallion, look at her face right there. She knows. Just by the look on that face. Oh my God, I'm about to have to explain why I made this song about the wetness of my vagina. I'm going to have to explain to this woman about why I made this song. But let's go ahead and see what she has to say about it.
Don't worry. Don't worry. And here's what I said. Now that's audacity. That is audacity. And that is the ability for women to take charge of what they want to say. Because as I said, I had paid attention to the young...
Forget what she said. She don't even care about what was said in the song. What she cares about is that Meg the Stallion, as a black woman, has the ability to say it. And that's what I'm calling all men to today. I don't care what Fresh and Fit said. What I want to argue is they should have the ability to say it, whether you like it or not. How sad is it that a man, when asked about his preference, can't answer in a certain way because we're going to offend a certain group of people? Because I don't want to date those people, but I can't say it. I can't say I don't want to date these people, but when a woman says I don't want to date a man under 6 feet, eat it up. But when a woman says I don't want to date a man making less than 6 figures, eat it up. When a woman said I don't want to date a man that's not at least 4 inches or more, eat it up. Something that we literally can't control, eat it up. Nothing wrong with that. They're allowed to say that. But if you say you don't want to date ratchet, fire them. Close down the business. Close the schools.
Gangster rap a time when, men were in charge. They said whatever they wanted to say. They said whatever they wanted to say about women, what have you. But women, didn't say for a long time.
The same men she's speaking about during that time. During the time of Tupac, there was Foxy Brown, there was Lil' Kim, there was Queen Latifah, saying whatever the hell they wanted to say. This same time. But again, we still got to play a press card. We still got to act like there was just no one there. To the point to where we are today, where you can literally go on or have a radio version of how wet your vagina is, and it goes mainstream. You could perform it at the Grammys. And there's not a problem, but we still gonna scream that a press card. I don't care what you say, but you as a man should have the ability to fucking say it.
What they could say or wanted to say or dared to say. And so I thought that's audacity. So
That's
I'm with
audacity.
you. I'm fine. I have no problem with that. The genre as it evolves. And from the time that, I've seen all kinds of transitions take place, with some of the younger artists, until I'm seeing today that you young women have taken control of your art. And you're defining it in ways that never would be defined by anybody else. And you're willing to have the courage and the nerves and the audacity to say whatever the hell you think.
Man, have the courage, the nerves, and the audacity to say whatever the hell you think. Stand on it, stand by it. Stop being afraid. Stop being scared of the backlashes from Joe Buddens and the chef and the women. I just seen Myron showing his DMs of so many people, women and men alike, all of them. How dare you say you don't date black women? How dare you? I don't date. That's all he said. I don't date them. And we got people literally threatening this man's life because he said I don't date him. And the biggest issue, the biggest thing that I have a problem with is the reason they're allowed to do this is because more men not backing it up. And that's why we're at the point we are today. Let's go ahead. There was one more part I wanted to play. 22, 26. Let's play this now.
My last question to the both of you is, how do you respond when someone tells you to stay quiet or to not speak up?
Reclaiming my time. Well, I just say that because that turned out to be so much fun. And I got adopted by the millennials based on, confronting the Treasury Secretary who was trying to talk over me and talk around me.
Black man, reclaim your time. Reclaim your time and be able to say whatever the hell you want to say when you want to say it. Meg the Stallion got a little piece of here that she want to say, and I want to play her part for a little bit. Let's let that play.
Same. Like I said, my mother, my aunt, my great-grandmother, all the women in my life were very strong, very outspoken, and they just taught me to be that way. They taught me to be confident in what I
think it's a bigger issue that the women in her life were very strong and outspoken. Men, we need to be strong and outspoken for our sons. How weird would it be in the house for the women to be all outspoken, all independent, being able to say what they want, and the sons over there cowering in the corner, being submissive and not being able to say how they feel? I want you to think about your sons and your fathers and your uncles and your brothers, women. I want you to think about your sons and your fathers and your uncles and your brothers, men. When conversations like this come up, that we got people in the household who are saying that the women taught the women to be like this. So when the hell are we going to teach our men to be like this? At what point is it truly about equality if the men don't have the same freedoms and liberties as the women? How equal is it really? Comments, questions, concerns, please go ahead and address those down below. I'm still a small enough channel where I'm responding to all of them. Anything you got, say it, and we're going to go ahead and talk about it. Just remember, over here, we're going to argue the facts, not emotions. And I'm out.